child and wanting to do, it's like I always was that type of child, wanted to do whatever my mom or my grandmother would say to do. And it comes from pleasing. You want to naturally please and do. And because I watched them become the type of women they were, givers and doers, it's like it was natural. I grew up feeling like that. Everything I'd done as a child had something to do with volunteerism and giving. So it automatically become part of it's like part of your DNA is to give and to do. And then growing up in a family of ministry and seeing them, again, givers and doers. And so because you have that as a model, even think about it as a child, if you come from a family of people of love, support, you grow up with that. And if you come from a family of violence, a lot of times that's what you emulate what you see. And so because I grew up in that type of environment with love and support and seeing them give back to their communities and working, therefore it was just natural for me to be that way.
Now, Oprah Winfrey had visited Africa. I can recall South Africa when she went to donate to orphanage homes and what have you. I have also seen the same spirit in you. That you, who is your mentor? Who have you placed as your mentor that I want to do like this person? I want to even do more if possible.
It really is my mother. My mother is my mentor, even though she's deceased. I saw her, she was what they call a first lady in the church. And everything she done, every community project she done it was like somebody laying their hand to gold and it blossoms and it done. She did so much. And one of her projects that I was really, really proud of, and because I was a part of the project, we earned an award from President Clinton.
Okay.
But then he was a governor at the time, where we fed like 300 kids in the summer. No, it was 600 kids over 3 months' time. And she won an award for that. And I'm just excited that, to be able to see my mom do some things that absolutely gave her recognition. And just before she died, she was nominated as the state mother in the state of Arkansas. So I was really proud of that because she gave so much and she did so much with very little resources, with very little help. And so if anyone I want to say I want to be like or mentor is my mother, because she was the epitome of success in her own right. My mother did not have a high school education, and she marched with Martin Luther King Jr. Those are things that is just priceless. And sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm not educated and I can't do this, or I don't know whoever it is, the person, a quote big name person, so how can I do it? You can do it. If you have a desire and you have the will, you can speak what it is you want, and it actually can materialize. And so I'm excited to be able to say it's my mother.
Wow. Yeah, desire and will. How can that help African, youth to really become great in life?
Oh, that's an easy one. It's easy because if you desire greatness and you want to become accomplished, for some reason things and destinies begin to line up. It shifts in your favor. If you want to be successful, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, or entertainer, you got to start working on what it is that I need to do to make this happen. So first of all, it starts with in the thought. It's the thought process. You think it, you speak it, and then start lining up. The action starts lining up with that word. So therefore, if you desire to be great, you shall be great.
Well, to the young generation that are watching this program, if you desire to be great, you shall be great. My guest, of course, is also a motivational speaker. Haven't you spoken? They invite you everywhere to speak.
Yeah.
Now, what is your major area?
Well, it's basically, believe it or not, it's marketing and promotions. But when I'm speaking with ministry, when I get those engagements, whatever theme they have, I tie the thoughts into the theme. But one of my specialties is showing people through the scripture, written word, how you can apply it to be successful in what you do.
How has that been working?
It works.
What has been the result?
It's
Testimony?
My testimony really is, just simple. I started a blog 2 years ago, and the blog was just only to help 8 friends. And it was my random act of kindness for them, because one of the things that happen in America, a lot of people have great ideas, and it's a lot of people are successful in their own right, but they don't have the capital to pay for these high marketing experts. Because if you want to brand you're going to spend quite a few $1,000s. And it's because it's so saturated. So I took those 8 people, and I just did a blog. I took their picture and their profile and put it out there. And believe it or not, in 6 months, we had 160 artists from 14 countries. They just, hey, I want this help. I want your help. Please get me exposure. You know, and I just started doing these things from my own pocketbook, not a dime from anybody. And I would do the press releases and the websites and the blogs and the banners and the social media out of my own pocket. And that's because it was a desire to help other people. And that's how this thing come about.
You know, I'm smiling. I want you to do exactly that for Africa, so that everybody will know that Africa, nobody sleep on the tree. Would you be willing to do that?
I would love to continue to do that. I'm already doing it.
She would love to continue to do that, and she will do that. Now, let's take a look at, this one would sound very, very humorous. When in life did it appear to you that I got to give up? Was there any time in life that things were looking very tattered, maybe as a young, from teenage, and said, I don't really need to go to school. I can maneuver my way, and then.
No. I always felt like I didn't have enough education. I felt
With what do you have?
Yeah, I always felt like I could go back to school. I could do more, but then I finally came. It took a lot of life experiences to get me to a place that I had to be comfortable with me and just give the best that I can to the universe. Or to the world. But in life, you're going to have your trials and your tests where you feel like, I'm just going to give up because things are not falling in place like I want it to fall. But you got to find, it goes back again to the desire and the will to believe in you, that you can achieve greatness. But you got to be determined to overcome the odds and succeed.
People think without someone they cannot get to the top. Is it true?
I think in life and the way the circle works, your destiny is going to be predicated to somebody else. It takes people to help people. I don't care who you are, and I don't care how much money you have, it still takes people. It takes that door, that connection, that opportunity through somebody else that's going to get you there. No one made it to the top that did not have no help.
No one makes it to the top, but how many people are at the top, or how many people really would want to have the same spirit that you have, the same heart that you have? I think that is missing in our society, not only in Africa, all over the world. Yeah. Not everybody is thinking about, himself, herself, and herself alone. So maybe you are here, you'll be able to probably speak to a few people who are watching you, to also have a change of heart by, contributing to someone's life.
Well, I think in life also, again, the first law of survival is self. First thing is self-preservation. You want to survive, and it's all about you. But once you understand that you were not created to be here alone and embrace mankind and acceptance and have an open heart, what you give going to come back. So if you give of yourself to the universe and you love people and embrace them, it's going to be returned back to you. Yes, you have to be selective about who you associate with. True, I agree with that. But yes, you ought to be open to receiving people in your life that's going to empower your life. Everybody is not here to take advantage of you.
Well, I've just got the signal that we have some few minutes more to go, and my guest has been Laverne Adekunle, who is a talent discoverer. I tell you, all her life she's been discovering talents all over the world and encouraging them to become the best they could be. I mean, they can be for their life. How long have you been in this now, discovering talents and making people to be what they want to be in life?
Well, as a child, I've always been involved in programs of one sort or another, helping others. But before I I actually concentrated on it more so, I would say probably the past 15, 20 years.
15, 20 years?
Yes, but now I've only been in the entertainment industry 2 years.
Wow. So 15 years helping people.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
by the time you look at those people you have helped, maybe at the top, what comes to your mind?
A sense of gratitude, because I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That's what I feel.
And there was no time, or there has not been time that you feel so proud and pompous that if not for me.
No, because
But why?
it's so much need to be done. I mean, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. And a lot of it come back from ministry, because I grew up in a family. My parents were pastors. And so that's why I can go back to my teen years, at least the age of 19, when everything in church was about other people. It wasn't about you. You know, you were the one had to clean the bathroom up and vacuum the floor and polish the furniture, trying to make everything right so when people come, they would feel comfortable in the church.
Before I ask you about maybe some policies of the government, just briefly, that could help in building Africa from your perspective, what is the most memorable day of your life? Most memorable day.
The most memorable day of my life?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I've had so many.
Then maybe you can give us like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, my goodness. Well, can I give you something recently? I had put my book, The World Luckiest Journal,
Okay.
in a category purposely, because when I earned this award, it was so many big name people, A-list authors that was competing. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it anyway, you know. And about 6 weeks later, when I got the letter that I had won the USA Book Award, I couldn't even believe it. That shocked me. Then, believe it or not, I said, well, I'm going to try one more time in a different company, different category, and won the International Book Award for my journal. Could not believe it. So that's one of my, let me say, that's just one of the stars that I was excited about.
Wow.
So it does sound better to say I'm an award-winning author than just say I'm an author, right?
And you want so many other people to win award like you have done? That's what you're doing now.
Well, I just give God the praise.
Now, let's take a look at the policies of government. Which one do you, or which area would you want African leaders to do that will help Africa in moving forward?
Well, what would I don't want to say as much as education, because most people now focusing on education, but I would like to see more done with agriculture. I really would like to see even more.
More agriculture?
Yes.
Well, I think African leaders should work more on agriculture so that there'll be no food for people. Yeah,
Can I ask one more thing I would like to see? Something done with water.
Water?
Mm-hmm.
What about
water? Okay, when I travel into countries, I always like to do the water study, so I can see what quality of the water. And I was a little bit kind of like surprised that Ghana water supply was not as high as I would have thought. So if that could be done, that would be nice.
Yeah, water. Well, that is interesting. Someone was asking before we started this program that which of Ghanaian food have you eaten, but I'm not going to ask you that because you don't even know their names. You are still very fresh in Ghana. But before you go, what would you want to leave with my viewers?
Oh, just believe that you can achieve greatness if you have a desire and act on it. That is so important because so many people feel so disadvantaged. I'm not educated. I didn't come from a royal family. My parents was not in politics. My parents was not in ministry, and I am a nobody. But you are somebody. Just because God made you. And you got a desire to achieve greatness, you can. You just got to line yourself up, do some things, and make it happen. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make it happen.
Yeah, I got to understand that you are the founder of La Expose.
Yes.
I kept that as the last. Now, what is La Expose?
LA Expose started as a blog just to help people, and now it has become an international organization, nonprofit category.
Oh, it's a nonprofit organization.
Yes, we're trying to also set it up in Ghana here so that people can be empowered in their field of choice, in their area of talent or their gift, be it ministry, be it poetry, spoken word artists, comedians, dancers, of course, singers, but more it's the diversity, not just those two fields that most common, singing and dancing.
So that is what brought you here.
That's what brought me here. We're going to shoot a reality show in Ghana.
Wow. Well, we don't know when that is going to come up, but very soon. We do hope that it will come up, and we want to wish you well. I learned one gentleman, Oba, is also been going around with you.
Yes, Oba is, I think about 4 or 5 years ago,
wow.
I met Oba and found he was a writer. And I was so impressed with him. And so we've communicated, sharing visions, ideas, and dreams, and things we've hoped. So naturally, when I started LA Expose, he was the first person to say, hey, I got your back. I want to help. What can I do? And so, of course, he's the president and the director for Ghana. Wow. And all other regions that comes under the umbrella in Ghana will be under Oba, because he's the example of when a person believes in what you're doing, they can accomplish so much because they believe themselves. So you want to empower that person so that they can also be able to live some of their dreams.
Well, let's empower some people so they can also empower others. I want to thank you for passing by Trailblazer Studio. This is the first time I'm having you on the show.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to have you.
It's been
but
a pleasure.
In closing, you also look like Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, just a little. Are you friends?
No, I'm not friends, but her father lives in my neighborhood.
Oh, so. Well, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, I hope if you are in Ghana again and I bring you back, you will attend to me?
Yes.
All right. Well, as a promise from her that she will surely come on Trailblazers Africa again. Thanks to Oba, who made it a success, and another gentleman, Sunshine. All of you have done greatly well for bringing her to the studio of Trailblazers Africa, and not forgetting all the viewers at home that have taken time to watch us for 1 hour. Thank you so much. Wherever you're watching, I want to say a big thank you to you, and to the production crew of Elvis Donko, I.D. Johnson, Boedi, of course, Lord Morgan, and Atto Morgan. Bennett K. Yansa has also been part of the production. Thanks to my editor, I called him Halaji Kofi Ana Awa. I'll see you again next week by the grace of God.